Before we talk about Raw, just a couple of channel notes for OTRS Central this week. Number uno. Coming up Wednesday is our Survivor Series Q&A. So if you haven't done so already, take to Twitter, tweet your hashtag Survivor Series questions to @OffTheRopeShow. Doesn't matter if it's about Survivor Series 2013 or Survivor Series of yesterday. Doesn't matter. Any and all Survivor Series questions will be considered. The best ones will be answered on the Q&A. So again, make sure you go to Twitter, @OffTheRopeShow, and tweet your hashtag Survivor Series questions to me. Also coming up later this week is my Survivor Series preview and prediction show. Maybe I'll throw in a surprise or two. Who knows? Who knows? Could get all types of wild and crazy. Probably not, but you just never know with the Schleg Daddy. Also, Sunday night. Survivor Series 2013 review. Let's hope I have a good show to review, and then I could give you a good review. Might as well start doing some good reviews at some point, right? All right, let's see if this Raw review is at least mediocre, huh? The first major topic to cover pertains to the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. Those are two of the big matches that we know about for this Sunday at Survivor Series. First, let's look at the WWE Championship. You had a couple of segments on this show pertaining to the big show Randy Orton match coming up at Survivor Series. And, the show kicking off with Triple H and Stephanie. That's how it should be. You take the big spots and you give them to the big-time players, the major leaguers, if you would. And I hope that Triple H and Stephanie enjoyed their little break from being on camera last week. They deserve it, by God. They absolutely do. And, the whole thing here is I really didn't like the way that they treated Brad Maddox. Brad's just trying to get along, and he's just trying to do the best job he possibly can and stamp his place as the greatest Raw general manager of all time. Clearly is on his way to doing just that. But no, even the people at the top sometimes fail to recognize true greatness. I hope they found out what true greatness really looked like. Because they threw Maddox in a match with Randall Keith Orton, a no disqualification match. And you know what? Here's what you got to say. The bottom line is that crowd there in Nashville likes Brad Maddox. People are starting to like Brad Maddox because real is recognizing real, and the fans are recognizing the true talents in the WWE. And he gave Randy Orton all that Mr. RKO, Mr. Baby Oil, Mr. Ring Boner could possibly handle. And at one point in time, it looked like he had him defeated. And clearly could have defeated him if he so desired, but he understood that's not what's best for business at this point. You might as well pretend like Randy Orton could actually knock you out with the microphone and, let the WWE Champion look strong heading into the pay-per-view. I just thought it was kind of interesting that the crowd, once again, just like they were in England the previous week, is kind of behind Brad Maddox. They kind of like this guy. Well, they should! Took you long enough, damn it. I've been trying to tell you. I'd rather be a forerunner than a sheep. I'd rather lead the pack than follow. I tried to tell all of you that Brad Maddox has the Maddox, and as a result, deserves yours, and yours in terms of affection and admiration and respect. And I hope he's got it from you now. You also had Big Show face Ryback, and frankly, I was surprised this match was actually kind of good. Maybe this could perhaps be a WrestleMania preview. These two could end up facing each other down the road. They actually got after a little bit, had a decent match here. You had Ryback get Big Show up into the shell shock, which is very impressive. Something that could really be a WrestleMania moment for the Ryback character. And of course, you have Big Show win. Then Randy Orton comes out and he gets a spear for his efforts. The bottom line is all the huss and fuss and bust that Big Show is throwing out there right now. Come Sunday night, Randall Keith Orton is still going to be your WWE Champion. Of course, you got the obligatory awesome talk segment between John Cena and ADR. Cena's like, I'm not wrestling tonight, brother. ADR's like, I am not wrestling tonight, brother. So they just went out there and had a talky segment. And, I just am ready for Cena to move on from ADR. ADR is one of those guys that he has a lot of things on the surface, it would seem like, going for him, but he just doesn't get a reaction. Just isn't a good heel for what the WWE needs. I mean, he's just very bland and very dull. And, it's one of those things. Now you took away any sizzle to the ADR steak with Ricardo Rodriguez for whatever reason, and now ADR is just a bland-tasting, spiceless steak. And, not easy to digest. He's bad. Very bad. So I Cena will win Sunday. And at least, like I said, whether you guys necessarily like it or not, because of the fact that it is Randall Keith Orton and it is John Felix Anthony Cena, the bottom line is that both of these guys are definitely elevating the profiles of those two world titles, and that at least has to be considered somewhat of a positive. If you think Cena's losing in his hometown area of Boston, you must be nuts. I sometimes love Vince McMahon's kind of sick, twisted humor for doing ribs, and what I mean is that you had Vicky Guerrero pretend to keep fainting, which is a clear shot in rib at AJ Lee, talking about Vicky needs water. I mean, the match, this whole thing was bad, but it was bad in like a sick, twisted, guilty pleasure kind of way, because I understood what Vince was trying to accomplish. He just threw it on camera and made a whole rib out of what happened to AJ Lee and her fainting incident last week. I fucking love that. Some other points of interest. I told you, and I told you, and I told you again, that Dolph Ziggler is Jeff fucking Jarrett. So you get this Broadway brawl between him and Damian Sandow. You've got drums out there. You've got all types of other shit. And what does Dolph Ziggler end up using for the finish of the match? Did he use the zigzag? Did he use the Billy Gunn Famouser? No, he used a guitar over the head of his opponent, Damian Sandow, at which point in time, right before, he decided he was going to do the old Jeff Jarrett, Jackie Fargo, oh, I do it better than Ric Flair, I do it better than Ric Flair strut. Once and for all, Dolph Ziggler is Jeff Jarrett. If you don't like it, you can eat shit. I told you, period. That made me laugh. This show gave me lots of chuckles this week, and good type of chuckles that I enjoy. You got the debut of Xavier Woods. It's about frickin' time. I guess he's finally graduated from school down there and everything else. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what they maybe do between him and R-Truth. Could they be setting up for a future match between these two down the road at a big show? Let's hope so. I'm happy to see Xavier Woods up, man. I thought he looked all right. You know, I hope they just don't make him another traditional black comedy character in the WWE, which Vince loves to do. He's like, yeah, those Negroes, they love these type of guys. This is how all of those hooligans act. So let's have them dance up and do the rap music and all that other shit. Nah, fuck that. Let's not do that with Xavier Woods. Let's just make him a cool character. You also got The Miz turning on Kofi Kingston. He had teased this before on the overseas tour and running through the UK, and he turned on Kofi Kingston in their match against the Real Americans. And I'm like, you know what? Thank God. They realized that they didn't know where they were going with Miz as a babyface. Miz is not a very good babyface. He is, however, a very good heel that gets real heat from several different segments of the audience, which is very hard to find in the WWE today, is heels that can draw heat from all different segments of the audiences. So, Miz turning heel, it's about time, rectifying a previous wrong. And speaking of rectifying previous wrongs, is the fact that now finally Big E Langston is getting a babyface push. And they're going all, at least at the moment, they're going all in on this shit. He and Curtis Axel go out and have a good Intercontinental Championship match, about as good as I can expect between the two of them. I love the fact that the crowd was really behind Big E Langston. It warmed the absolute deepest buried cockles of my heart to see it. And now Big E Langston is the new Intercontinental Champion. I know if Smokey was still here with us, he'd be excited as shit about it. I know he would. Therefore, I'm excited as shit about it. And I'm excited for the possibilities and the opportunities that lie ahead for a Big E Langston. I hope the WWE doesn't drop the ball with this kid, because they could make him a big-time babyface superstar, and I really mean that. He needs to start doing that 5-count shit that he was doing down in NXT. They need to go as far as they could possibly go with this kid, period. And I'm sorry, Curtis Axel, but it's back to oblivion for you. There are reasons why I'm so happy to see the WWE turn back more to the tag team wrestling aspects and focus on tag team wrestling more, because I feel like there are certain intrinsic advantages to tag team wrestling as opposed to singles wrestling. I think a lot of times it can allow for better storytelling. It can allow for heels to be more clearly defined heels and the faces to be more clearly defined faces. If you get the right guy to get the heat on, then you can sit there and do and execute a hot tag and, you know, really get the crowd into a roar. And a lot of times it can lead to fast-paced, high-tempo type of action. I love tag team wrestling. Always have been a big fan of tag team wrestling. Became very disenfranchised with the WWE over the past several years, and their utter lack of desire to feature tag team wrestling. And maybe this is one of the benefits of Triple H taking more control of the company, is understanding the importance of tag team wrestling. Because again, you got a big 12-man tag match here, and this match was really damn good. Everybody's featured in their own way. You get lots of high-flying, fast-paced action. You got Daniel Bryan getting the heat, exchanging to CM Punk for a hot tag, and he gets the job done. Just a really fun, awesome match, and building up some towards Survivor Series too. And I'm so excited with the WWE in this sense that they are focusing on some of these younger characters like the Wyatt family, basically mainly Bray Wyatt, and then all three members of the Shield. And they are focusing on CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, but also focusing on Cody Rhodes and Goldust and the Usos, and that's good shit. And then at the end, you get Rey Mysterio coming back. Hey, this is another babyface star that could help this company, give you a little, at least small injection of energy, because he is a star. He is unnamed. He's an established name that goes back many years that a lot of people do like. A lot of kids, obviously, but some adults like him, or at least at the very worst, respect Rey Mysterio. They respect him, even more so, I would argue, sometimes than John Felix Anthony Cena. And that's the truth of the matter. So to see him come back and make a big triumphant return here, I thought was very cool. So in terms of this show overall, I thought there were some good twists and surprises here. Surprised to see Xavier Woods debut, but very happy. Surprised, but very happy to see Big E Langston win the IC title in the show. Of course, you wouldn't want to do it at Survivor Series pay-per-view. Why would you want to give him that big moment on one of your big four shows? But, they went with Big E Langston as the IC champion. They surprised me by going with the Miz heel turn, right here and now. They surprised me with Rey Mysterio coming back. There were some good surprising things. My only issue with this show this week was that even though I thought it was a good Raw show, it seemed like there were some things that dealt with Survivor Series, with this being the go-home Raw, and then felt like several other things were just kind of randomly thrown out there just to fill time. I mean, did we really need Ziggler versus Sandow? Did that really accomplish anything? Even like Xavier Woods and R-Truth, couldn't this have been done after Survivor Series? The Miz turning on Kofi, could that have been done after Survivor Series? Could Big E Langston versus Curtis Axel for the IC title actually been done at Survivor Series? You kind of get what I'm saying here? There are a lot of things on this show that didn't really seem to necessarily deal with Survivor Series. I'm still somewhat excited about the show, but at this point in time, looking at it, I'll talk about it more in my preview show, but it looks like it's basically, to me, really a three-match card, and that puts a lot of pressure on those three matches to really deliver. Maybe a four-match card, I should say, and puts pressure on all of those matches to deliver, and then, you just got to hope the other things fall in line. Could be a good show, but when you put all that pressure on just a few matches, if any of those things go wrong, it can hurt the overall enjoyment of the show. But remember, again, tweet your Survivor Series questions to @OffTheRope for the Q&A on Wednesday. My preview of Survivor Series 2013 is coming up later this week, as is my review of Survivor Series 2013. Big E Langston is the IC champion. You damn right.